Hi Jenny, welcome to the Community Living Golf Tournament. Just want to give you an opportunity here to view your swing at regular speed. Let that play through a few times and we'll put you back in your address position, and then we'll go ahead and take a look at a few things for you. So while we got you back here in your address position, let's first of all just take a look at your setup, which looks really good. See here that your spine is straight and on a slight tilt. Legs come down into a nicely unlocked position. Arms hang down off that tilted spine and the club works out to the ball, so you're achieving really good posture, also in association with pretty good balance. I would probably take that entire unit and just have your sternum and your head rock forward a little bit out towards over your toes, just to change your center of gravity a little bit more so you're a little bit more athletic, ready, more on the balls of the feet. Right now you look like you're sitting back on your heels a little too much. So you just want to rock that entire center of gravity just forward a little. And that would obviously maybe you just position the club a little bit further out in front, and therefore you might have to stand just a little further away. So just a little minor tweak there. Taking a look at your alignment, feet are heading out in this direction here. Your club face theoretically is supposed to run parallel to your feet. Parallel lines on camera would have an appearance of converging. So we are set up to hit the golf ball sort of towards the left edge of the fairway, meeting the left rough. At this point in time, let's just do a split screen comparison between you and Chela Choi. We got some color-coded lines on the screen just as reference point as it pertains to swing plane. So hopefully you can see the center of gravity that I'm talking about. See how Chela, her sternum and her head are a little bit more out over her toes. She's a little bit more athletic, ready on the balls of her feet. She's not sitting back on her heels. As we initiate our takeaway, simply want to rotate our shoulders, draw our arms and hands back as well as the golf club. And in doing so, the club should travel back basically right along that red line. Simply means the club is coming back on a proper swing plane. As we continue to turn and bring the hands and arms back, we're going to have to establish some wrist hinge into play, starting right about here. And that's going to allow us to work the club head from being below our hands to transitioning above our hands, which we see right there. At this point in time, we're going to continue to turn, work the club from red up to yellow. When we finally set the club at the top of the backswing, we're going to see a left arm situated on the yellow line. Club shaft is going to be situated between the yellow and the blue V zone, but the club shaft and club head should always remain a little closer to yellow than to blue. We have full shoulder rotation. We do this about a very stable right leg. We also keep all our weight on the inside part of our right foot. As we watch you initiate your takeaway here, we can see that you draw your hands out away from your body. So you're sending your hands and arms out in this direction. One of the things you want to do is you want to learn how to draw the golf club back in a circular motion. The golf swing's an arc. The club should not move outside of the golf ball. Club head should be moving on the inside of the ball. So if your hands were moving a little bit more inside and around your body, that club shaft would be camouflaged on the red line and the golf club would be on perfect plane. As you continue to move here, you continue to move your hands and arms out in front of you too much, not around you. So now we're working the hands and arms outside and steep, and as well as the club. At this point in time, you start to drop the club head in behind your hands because your subconscious brain knows that the club has to get there for any sort of power at all. At this point in time, your brain also understands that if you keep picking your arms up, your arms are basically going to get over top of your head, and it's just not going to be a good position to create your transition back into the golf ball. So not only did you lay the club off, draw the club head behind your hands here, but you're also going to start laying your arms off, and you're actually going to start getting back into a better position. So when you finally get set at the top of the backswing, it's incredible how shallow your arms actually get and how shallow the club gets, considering you initiated a takeaway that went outside, steep, and virtually just picking your hands and arms up. So that's quite the compensation that you've made. So if you're going to get set in this position, there really is no need to take your hands, arms, and golf club outside and steep. Just learn how to swing everything around your core, around your body to the inside more. Okay? As we go ahead and create our transition back into the golf ball, simply want to move our weight from our right foot to our left. Want to fire our knees to the target as well as our hips, unwind our core and fire our hands. And in doing so, we got to bring the golf club from yellow back down onto red, which is where the club originated. And that's exactly what we see here with Chela Choi. The golf club has returned back to being on plane. The other thing we want to point out at this stage of the swing is the relationship between the lead forearm and the golf club. I refer to this as the backwards check mark. Simply means we're retaining angle coming into the hitting zone, whereby the club head right now is above and behind our hands. This is what's going to allow us to create a lot of power in our golf shots, let alone getting the club to return back to plane, as we already pointed out, which is ultimately what allows us also to hit a straight golf shot in accordance to our alignment. With you, if we go ahead and watch your transition back into the ball, you drop your hands and arms very nicely, and you're working the golf club from yellow back to red. So this pre-impact position is pretty solid. We can definitely see between your lead forearm, actually let me undo that and get rid of the arrow, between your lead forearm and your club, you have that backwards check mark. The club head is remaining above and behind your hands. So creating some power is not going to be that much of an issue. We also take a look, and your club has done a pretty good job almost returning back to plane as well. So that's excellent. As we track the club head coming into the ball, ideally the club should come into the golf ball directly now from this red line. We do see with Chella Choi that her club falls a little bit underneath the red line. So she just has to make sure at impact that she really squares that club face up so she doesn't block the ball out to the right. But that's pretty much coming into the ball from on plane. It's just slightly underneath. With you, we track your club head coming into the ball. We can see that the club gets right back onto the plane there and coming into the ball very, very well. If we connect the dots, your descending plane is excellent. Now you do throw the club away a little, just means that the wrist hinge that you created coming back, you don't fully retain it coming down, so you are going to lose a little bit of power there. If we go ahead and take a look at how the descending plane now influences the path, we can see that the club head with Chella Choi is inside the ball as she expands out to hit it, and then the club moves through on a nice natural subtle arc. So when she swings the golf club on that arc, very simply put, that arc is in the same direction as her alignment. Her feet are going in that direction. Parallel lines will have the appearance of converging. She's set up to hit the golf ball in that direction, and her swing arc, the yellow arc, is following her target line. So as long as her grip is good, she will square the face up and she will hit a straight golf shot. And those are the three things that are required to hit a straight golf ball. We have to aim well, we have to bring the club down on plane, and we have to square the club face up. We can see with you that your club is slightly stuck behind the ball, not to the inside like Chella's. That club is now dropping a little bit sort of to the ball and then inside. So we can see you're swinging on a nice arc, but you're swinging on the arc in the same reference as to where you're aimed. So if you remember, your alignment was out in this direction with your feet. Okay, so very good possibility that we're going to start the ball over in this direction if we square the face up. Now, if you over-release the club, not only will the ball start in that direction, but we'll pull draw it this way. If we under-release the club, we'll pull fade it and it'll move this way. So the end result of your golf shot is dictated based on the timing of the club face. How much does the club face release versus how much does it not release? And as we carry on through, we'll notice with Chella Choi that her right heel's off the ground. As she carries that swing through to her finish, that right heel is going to fully come up off the ground. She's going to get up on the toe of her right foot. It's going to allow us to count all the spikes in her right shoe. This is what allows her hips to basically square around. Her weight gets on her left foot. She gets fully extended on her left side. Hips are square, shoulders fully rotate. Hands are high with the club back in behind her. As we move you through, you got good footwork, and you move yourself through to a good finish. You do come up out of your spinal tilt a little, and all that means is if we go back to Chella Choi, we mark her spine to begin with. When we make a backswing, we should rotate and maintain that axis. When we unrotate and get back to impact, we should also maintain that axis. As we drive through, we should still maintain that axis. And when we finish the golf swing, it can come up a little, but it should still resemble that axis. In her case, she actually maintains it. A lot of people will actually straighten that up a little bit. In your case, you've completely straightened it, or you've actually created a reverse tilt. So your spine was here to begin with. You make your backswing. Do you maintain your axis? Yes, pretty good. You come back to impact. Do you maintain the axis? Yes, not too bad. As you move through the ball, that axis is now coming up, and when you finish, you have a reverse axis. your axis is now in this direction. So you want your spinal tilt to still have some form of a resemblance of that blue line. Okay? You'd also like to get your hands higher when you finish. So obviously tweaking up a few things through to your finish would be ideal, because there is up and down motion, or a little too much up and down motion, definitely through the hitting zone in your golf shot. Okay, so hopefully you can see here, setup's good. I'd like you to rock forward a little bit, get a little further away from the ball to start with. Backswing's looking obviously good, but again, it goes outside and then shallow, outside, shallow, outside, shallow. So we just want to learn how to bring the hands, arms, and golf club inside to begin with, around, on an arc. Golf swing's a circular motion. Make that initial move, that's good. Get to the top of the backswing, which you already have a good position, and then from there, fire on through. And then we just need to make sure that you're fully coming into the ball from on plane, and sort of refining your motion from impact through to the finish. So we're not trying to sort of raise up so much with your spine, and the hands and arms are finishing low and congested to your core. Okay? But nonetheless, really good athletic ability. Your hands work great to come back, fire through. Your core's working well, good coil, uncoil, due to the fact that you have great footwork. So overall, some really good athletic qualities with respect to your swing, but obviously certainly a couple things you could tweak up a little bit. And if at any point you ever wanted to work on your golf game, I'm over at Glen Abbey in Oakville. I'd be happy to do that with you. All my contact information is at the end of the video, so feel free to drop me an email or a phone call. Also, if you're involved in any golf tournaments or sit on a committee for any golf tournaments, and you're looking for a unique gift to provide to the participants in your event, certainly feel free to touch base with me as well to provide these services. Okay? Anyways, I hope you had a great day. Hope you enjoyed getting an opportunity to see your swing on video, and hope you have a great summer, and maybe we'll hear from you. Take care.